Good evening. Shadi checking in. And with this live video, I want to pay homage to a great man, Coach Gary Moore. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to Coach Gary Moore. Feel that it's important, it's necessary, it's respectful to pay homage to the people and institutions that allow you to be the champion that you've evolved into in life as well as in business. So for those of you who are outside the ecosystem that I'm going to describe, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why Coach Moore is a legend and very important to so many people. So Gary Moore is a legend, and his impact from my perspective is that he, in his mid to late 20s, took on the destiny to transform the overall story of hundreds of young men and women, which also includes me, yours truly. The Hill House track program of 2017 of today features a sprawling, gorgeous facility and a rich legacy of greatness. Now, this rich legacy of greatness had to start somewhere. So when Coach Moore first came onto the scene and assumed the helm, funds were limited, and the Hill House track program was underfunded. So what we lacked in comparison to the larger schools as an inner city program was supplemented with hard work and an unbreakable will to win. You have no idea what this man programmed us to do in terms of competition, in terms of just feeling like we had a chance no matter who we're competing against, no matter how big the school was, no matter how much money that particular school had. He gave us that mindset that we work hard, so we're always in the game. And that mentality is the exact mindset that I fall upon today. So here's 3 areas where Coach Moore excels in exactly, in my mind, why he's a legend. Number 1, mindset. Coach Moore, in his late 20s, was a hot shot. He gave off the energy and a persona that his sweat should be bottled as cologne. Do you get the analogy? His sweat was cologne. For kids, because people are watching this from all over the world, people like Harry McClary, Daquan, these guys, we went to school together, so they know what I'm referring to. But for the rest of you, we come from a place where kids were coming into practice from all sorts of troubles and problems. Could have been problems with their family, it could have been poverty, it could have been just all sorts of troubles. And he gave us a safe place to pursue excellence. We may not have known what excellence was. We may not have known what examples of excellence was in our own personal lives. But Coach Moore gave us a common drum. He gave us a heartbeat to march behind. And when we went on the road to compete, it was us against the world. Us against the world. You can't lose. And this was the exact mindset. I'm just thinking about all these times and the things he would tell us to motivate us to feel like no matter what your skin color may be, no matter what your background may be, no matter what your parents may be, you are not only equal, but you are better because you are focused on excellence. Can you imagine telling a kid in high school these words and then sending them out into the world and what they may become? So that's reason number 1. That's mindset. Coach Moore excels in mindset. Reason number two, work ethic. Coach Moore created disciplined student athletes due to the fact that his practices were designed to break the body in order to strengthen the mind. Do you understand? What this does is it creates a depth of toughness and a reserve of tenacity. So when you need to dig deep and finish up strong, you have energy in your gas tank to finish up. Anyone who has been to a Coach Moore practice, they know about the Superman drill, and they know about the practices where, guys, they might vomit, they might, you never know. But when it came time to complete in game time, those were the lessons that we needed. Those were the practices that we needed in order to compete against the bigger programs. Daquan, fly, fly, fly. That's the Superman drill. Anybody who from the program, they know about the drill. Thank you. Thank you very much. It break the body to strengthen the mind. So even today, years later, decades plus later, when I'm running a marathon and it's mile 19 through 24, this is the same mindset. This is the same conditioning that I use to this day to get through practices. Or when a jiu-jitsu practice is tough. A lot of these guys, they weren't raised with this level of pressure and the expectation to compete and win and dominate and just be in the fight and be in the race. So a lot of guys and girls, they wilt. Or public speaking, when you have to get in front of an audience and the pressure is on and you have to remember your ideas, you have to be prepared. The preparation is what Coach Moore instilled in us all. And again, that's reason number 2 why he's a legend. Reason number 3, and this may be one that a lot of people from the program may not realize, but balance. Balance. When Coach Moore fully assumed the helm of the track and field program, there's the Pete Recaro era, and then it kind of went to the Gary Moore era, Davis era. He ensured that athletes weren't just great within performance, but they also made the necessary grades. In many inner city programs, a gifted and talented student, and I can speak from reference. My brother is in the Hall of Fame. But he was a good student athlete. So bad example, but there are so many athletes that had the talent, but due to charisma and just popularity and everybody wants to be around this particular athlete, they are able sometimes to bypass the difficulties of student athletics, which means showing up and going to class and doing the necessary work to graduate. Coach Moore didn't allow that. Demanded excellence in the classroom from his student athletes, which allowed the program to evolve and actually have student athletes who obtain scholarships, as well as not everyone's going to be a Nicolette Chambers or a Monica Hargrove, and these are athletes from the program who went on to do great things. But everybody who competes as a student athlete should graduate. And the graduation rate skyrocketed under Coach Moore's tutelage. So, again, I can say without hesitation and with full humility that without Coach Gary Moore guiding my athletic life during my formative years, I would not be the businessman that I am, because my mindset from competition was molded by his attitude towards hard work. And my overall approach to hard work would be much softer, and I would take days off, and I would also be afraid to address my weaknesses. He, as Harry McClary brilliantly pointed out, he broke the cycle of despair, of feeling bad for yourself, of allowing your environment to dictate circumstances. He set a standard and more or less built a casino in the desert, or a dojo in the desert, where so much lack and scarcity was the norm. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And on his birthday, we all must go to Gary Moore's page. His name is Coach Gary Moore, and wish him a happy birthday. He's a creator of champions. He's a builder of legacies. He is a person who broke the cycle, not just for his family, but for hundreds of student athletes who were lucky enough to be led by his guidance and his discipline, and in his younger years, his craziness. So thank you, Coach Moore, for all you've done for us, all you've done for me, and what you continue to do for me by instilling a program of excellence so that years later, after my track competitive years have been complete, I still have a framework by which to correct myself and to seek excellence no matter what I may do, whether it's running, whether it's martial arts, whether it's business, whether it's being a family man. I have a framework for life. And that, my friends, is what a leader is supposed to do. Shadid Eleazer, over and out. Happy birthday, Coach Gary Moore.